49ers defense held Trevor Lawrence and company to just 3 points. How'd they get that done?
See how much energy this team had?
100%.
Like,
I'd be concerned if I had to play them knowing that they had it in their bag now.
They cured the things that were ailing them. Chase Young comes in and adds a whole different element. When there's pressure on the quarterback, it's everything different.
From what I saw there, it seemed like he had a big impact. I know having him out there and allowing our rotation to go, and our group had their best game yet, and that's the goal.
You guys, one game was all I wanted. That's it, because I mean, you guys know this as well as I do. When we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers in the 2023 season, I mean, I don't think a team could have gone through a bigger roller coaster of both highs and lows than these guys did if they were actively trying to do so. And, well, those lows that this team saw, it kind of seemed like a wake-up call, because whether you guys want to talk about the offense, the defense, or even the absurd new acquisitions that I still can't believe this team somehow pulled off, sure, there definitely were a lot of questions to answer about this team heading into their bye week, but coming out of it, I mean, I don't think there's words to accurately describe what we just saw. But if you guys are loving this NFL season as much as I am, do not forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications to never miss another NFL video as we continue on throughout the entire 2023 season. Okay, so to get back on topic with the San Francisco 49ers, I mean, guys, I'd be remiss if I didn't start this conversation off with this team's defense. Because, well, while I'm sure that most of us witnessed the blatant murder this side of the ball committed on the field recently, that still doesn't dismiss the fact that coming out of the bye week, despite this side of the ball allowing the least points per game across the entire league, the 6th fewest total yards, the 5th most turnovers forced, and even the lowest amount of red zone appearances per game. I mean, if you guys didn't see this, you were living under a rock. The NFL world was adamant in telling us that this 49ers defense, it wasn't living up to their full potential, and it didn't look like the unit that we're used to. Hell, they were saying it so much that they bullied Steve Wilks out of the booth and down to the sideline. Granted, it's pretty clear that that is already making a massive difference for this team, but if you want to keep talking about making a difference, like I said, it's been one game that we've seen this guy in a 49er uniform, and straight up, it is legitimately terrifying. Because if you've watched this team at all in the past, what's made this side of the ball so dominant for these guys, even this season included, it has undoubtedly been their run prevention, and again, the numbers this season, they can definitely testify to that. But on the other hand, when you're talking about their ability to prevent the air attack, it's definitely a different conversation. And you guys want to know how you improve this aspect in the most effective way possible? It's simple, really. All you need to do is bolster a defensive line that pressures the opposing quarterback on literally half of their offensive snaps throughout the course of an entire game, and also make sure they have just about half of a second to get rid of the football in most dropback situations. And guys, it turns out that Chase Young is pretty good at both of those. I mean, the film is really all you guys need to see. Time and time again, just look at the exterior pressure that's being forced and the instant collapse of the pocket. And it's not like this wasn't already a strong suit of San Francisco's, because with adding Chase Young to a front line that's already consisting of guys like Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead, Ferrell, Kinlaw, Gregory, I could keep going, but I'm gonna need an oxygen tank soon. Some of the rotations that Steve Wilks is going to be able to run on the front line are going to be nothing short of a godsend for the middle of this field and especially the secondary. Because whether it's, say, forcing opponents to limit their playbooks due to the constant pressure, or even mixing in different blitz and pressure scenarios that we already got a glimpse of because of this new depth. I mean, I'm no mathematician here, but when you hold one of the hottest teams in all of football to more turnovers forced than total points in a 60-minute stretch, yep, that is in fact the definition of a nightmare. But then on the other side of things, while the defense definitely was a big point of focus recently for this team, and rightfully so, some of the offensive struggles, they were right there at the top of this conversation as well. I mean, we figured out that when Brock Purdy finally looks human on a football field for the first time in about a year, all hell is gonna break loose. But here we are now, 4 to 5 weeks later, past that really rough 3-game stretch that this team really saw as a collective unit, and all of a sudden with that, Brock is back like he literally never left. So obviously that bears the question, what exactly changed? Now, over the course of San Francisco's rough patch, you can see it when you take a look at the numbers. Their offense, specifically the run game in particular, really everything about it, from the production to the execution and even the usage, it was as ineffective as we've seen it in years on end. But you guys want to know something else extremely ironic about that San Francisco slump? Well, it's not necessarily a coincidence, I guess, that this guy and this guy were absent for pretty much the entire time. Because guys, feel free to tell me in the comments if I am wrong about this, but there is not an offense in the league that thrives more off complementary football for their success than the 49ers. I mean, if the run game is dead, the pass game is dead. It's as simple as that. And when you take a look at the splits in that regard, when Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams alone are present in this offense for a full 60 minutes, saying the run game is unstoppable with them on the field, that would be an understatement. And again, it's all present through the film. You see Trent Williams making the massive difference up on the front line. You see Deebo being incorporated on so many different fronts, whether it's through swings, pre-motion sets, or of course even the pass game, and whether he's actually being used in this regard or just straight up as a threat or decoy for this offense, it's clear that he complements CMC to a degree that you cannot put into words. But even aside from CMC, how much does it complement this guy? Well, guys, I mean, pretty similarly to the run splits when Deebo and Trent Williams are inactive, the pass game splits for Brock Purdy as well, yeah, there's something. And sure, while I definitely know that some of you out there are going to take that and run with it as a diss to the abilities of what Brock Purdy can do manning this offense, but more so, it's a testament to how Deebo Samuel is one of the most effective Swiss Army knives for an offense that we've ever seen, because it's the simple ability to attack from so many different angles that forces defenses to stretch the field more than they typically do. It's also the ability to incorporate so many different formation uses more frequently within this offense, and even use different personnel groupings. For example, these guys have the luxury of running 21 personnel, really more than any other team in the league. And when you're talking about how they use this in the pass game, they'll typically do so by creating threats in the flat on both sides of the field with either use check or CMC, while also allowing their wideouts and guys like Ayuk, Deebo, Kittle, etc. to expand the field and potentially find openings in zone coverage for big plays. Or even if it's just basic 11 personnel, whether it's him in motion in the backfield or split out wide, I mean, there's no bigger key in terms of opening up the offense on all fronts than when this guy is on the field. And sure, if you do want to shift this conversation back over to Brock Purdy, whether it's his ability to make the right reads, extend plays out of the pocket, or even make the big throws that he continues to do, at least when this team for the most part is fully healthy, I mean, being the second most efficient quarterback in all of football this season might speak for itself, but that's also where I want to hear what you guys have to think. So please be sure to let me know in the comments what was the most surprising aspect that you saw either from the offensive or the defensive side of the ball with the 49ers coming out of their bye week. And of course, if you had to, give me a prediction for what their record will be heading into the playoffs. But again, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all more than anything, and I will see you guys in the next video.